The Colorado Avalanche are coming off a second round defeat against Dallas that was pretty heartbreaking. They took care of Winnipeg pretty easily in round one, and it was like, alright, they're looking pretty good heading into round two. But the two main Achilles heels that ended this team's season were one, the goaltending, and two, lack of depth. It really felt like McKinnon, Rantanen, and Makar just had too much on their shoulders. That deep in the playoffs, you can't win that way, especially against a really good team like Dallas. And certainly after the Nichushkin thing happened and he was gone, it was just too big a hill for the team to climb. Heading into this year though, especially with what we just saw with John Tavares being replaced as captain by Austin Matthews, and I know there were a few different factors there, but the biggest one I've seen for why they made the change now is, it's Austin's team. He's the best player. He's the #1 center, biggest superstar on the team. He should wear the C. I've seen some people compare that to McKinnon and Landeskog in Colorado, saying, well, look, Landeskog hasn't played in 2 years. We're not sure when or if he's going to return. It's McKinnon's team, and it has been for a while. They should just make him the captain. And I know for quite a few Avs fans, that sounds blasphemous because Landeskog is like woven so deep into that fan base's heart, and rightfully so. Even for me, someone who follows the team from afar, I have so much respect for this guy, and as much as I love Nathan McKinnon, I understand why Landeskog was made captain at 19 years old, one of the youngest in NHL history, and even more so why they haven't replaced him throughout this 2-year period where he hasn't played. Well, great news if you're an Avs fan on multiple fronts. While it doesn't look like he'll be back for the season opener, apparently he's going to be back in the Avs lineup near the start of the season. Now, given that there was some talk about him returning in the Stanley Cup playoffs this past season, depending how far the Avs advanced, I understand some people are going to say, well, duh, if he was almost back for the playoffs, of course he's going to be ready for next season. But with the injury, the surgeries, the time off, and honestly just the whole up and down nature of this for Landeskog in the past 2 years, you can never really be sure, especially with something like knee cartilage replacement. Now, yes, the guy hasn't played since the 2022 Cup final, so upon his return, yes, expectations definitely should be managed. I'm not sure he'll be able to just jump right into a top 6 role and start producing right away, but nonetheless, holy what a boost for this Avs team on and off the ice to get your captain back. And when he does get back up to speed, that's going to provide some scoring depth for this Avs team that they desperately need looking at their lineup. This team's definitely still in its cup window. They're going for another one. So even with Landeskog returning, again, like I said, there's probably going to be an adjustment period, so I still anticipate them going for another move or two, whether it's in net or at forward depth, depending what they can get from that Kovalenko kid, and maybe Annunen takes a step forward. This team's going to be a really interesting follow this year, but top of that list is definitely Landeskog. Even if he can be a 15-20 goal, 40-point middle six player, plus his leadership in the room, that could be a really big boost for this team. Love to see this news today. Can't wait to see him on the ice, and I love that he's still wearing the C. Hoping he can stay healthy and be part of this team's core on the ice again. As usual, give me your thoughts on this. What's one move that you think Colorado could make that would really help them here? The lineup looks good, and it's not going to be a bad team by any stretch, but it just feels like it's missing a little bit of Stanley Cup oomph, you know? Which makes sense given some of the cards they've been dealt with some of their big players. Maybe it could all be internal. Georgiev stepping up, full season of Mittelstadt in an Avs sweater, Drouin being a really good top 6 player again, and Landeskog's return, or maybe you'll need some external help. That'll do for this one, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm definitely keeping my eye on this team. They're going to be fascinating. I'll see you in the next one. You're awesome.